Welcome back to the Available Post Podcast, a podcast where me, your host, Callum, talks into the void. And maybe someone will listen. Today I don't got too much I've got planned. But I'm just gonna talk into this microphone until it's done. This episode's coming out on Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to those Canada Day people. And at this time when this releases, I'll probably be building a gate. That'll be a blast. Things on the docket. I've been trying to learn Unity, trying to learn Godot, things like that. Got some interesting future projects to look out for all you fun people that like to look out for projects in the future. That'll be kind of cool. What else do I got? I got an album I'll be recording in August. That'll be something to look out for. It'll probably release around September sometime. You should definitely check out teleportus.com not even teleportus.com, but really just look up Teleportus. Skip all the Ben 10 nonsense that's going to be there because they decided to steal our name and use it into a teleporting tortoise in his weird little gadget of monsters. But look up the band, Teleportus, which is outdates the weird subreddit. Maybe the subreddit's down now forever because I guess that's something that happened this month, is that Redditors got mad at some sort of rule. I don't know. I don't really follow the Reddit thing, but I don't know. Some people got mad, tried to shut down some of their stuff. Guess there was something with the mods. Who knows? Who cares that much? People who have niche interests care because now there's no place for them to go look for their stuff. Yeah, that's the house cleaning. Ooh, what a dirty house it was. Now it's all clean. Very good. What have I been doing lately? Well, I've been making videos like usual. I've been playing a lot of indie game demos because June's been the indie game demo kind of real, and I want to say you should definitely look up a bunch of the games that I've been playing. I put up most of the videos online. We had Chilla's Art came out with another banger of a game. I think Night Security might be at least definitely in the top 3 of the games they've put out. But maybe just the best one. Atmospherically, how it all felt very planned out, very purposeful. Going up your little building as a night security guy, you gotta tell people to go home. You gotta tell people to get out of here. It's really nice. Someone confesses their love to you right off the bat, and you're like, wow, that's weird. I'm hopefully not going to have to call them, but that's the way it goes. And then, and then you start going up, learning the lore and the story through, old VCR tapes and stuff, and you try and tell people who shouldn't be there to go home, and you turn the lights off on some people in the bathroom, and it's good. It's good stuff. I would definitely recommend Night Security by Chilla Art. But I had played some other demos, like a indie game, kind of like a Silent Hill, Resident Evil, kind of like PS1 style survival horror tank controls game called HeartWorm. Game's not out yet. The demo was out. It was super cool. I think that's worth a wish list if you're into that kind of a game. You kind of just follow a nice little lady, and she wants to find a door to the other side, so she goes to a strange town and a strange house and carries her camera with her. You fight some static monsters. It's really cool. That was really fun. There was another, not really a horror game, which is usually what I play, but there was a game called BugABoo Pocket, and you raise little insects to survive, to save a rainforest, or to save a burnt down forest of a forest fire, so you can bring back the ecological lives, I guess, of the ground and the nature by raising bugs and putting it out into the wild. That was pretty cool. That was just a demo, but I mean, that was kind of a fun little thing. Very cute game. You can pet the little insects and stuff like that. And then I also played the demo for Stray Souls, which was it was interesting. I mean, obviously it was a very short demo for that one, where you go around a little police station, check it out. You wonder, so much intrigue. Cops aren't there. You gotta start a generator, so you suck the gas out of all the cars, taste all the gas, yum yum. Know which one's premium, which one's diesel, just by the taste of it. It's kind of like a gas tasting simulator. And then I guess it's first of all a gas tasting simulator. It's second of all a rolling around shooting a gun at big old titty monsters, which is fine. It's cool. Yeah, the graphics were kind of nice. It gave me very like Revenant vibes. Revenant from the Ashes, like the kind of shooting mechanics with the rolling. The rolling definitely felt like the exact same rolling as you got in Remnant from the Ashes, which I guess the second game is either out now or coming out soon, which is something to look out for. That's pretty cool. Definitely be playing that with my brothers, or hopefully, maybe, with my brothers in the future. But those have been the demos I've been playing lately, and I think you should definitely check them out. You should, if you ever see a game on Steam that you think you might like, you should definitely wishlist it, especially if it's an indie publisher, because I guess they just get better ad space, better like the more follows they get or like wish lists they get like bumped up in the algorithm. It's kind of like liking, commenting, subscribing on a video. Wink, nudge, hint, hint. Yeah, and the more eyes on things, the better. Even if, it's not everyone's cup of tea, it's better to just do that because it's free. You can freely wishlist something and get the name out there, because then maybe someone else, even if you're just like 50 or lukewarm on it, but who knows, just keep it on your wish list. Maybe it'll go on sale and then you'll buy it one day. It's good. It's good for everyone. If it's a game you're actually interested in, wishlist it. No reason not to. But what I've really been playing lately, and what I got not too long ago, Final Fantasy 16. I didn't think I would like this one. But then I started seeing like reviews for the game. I started seeing a little bit of like the cutscenes and gameplay, and sometimes I just love myself a nice high fantasy. And high fantasy it gives you. There is a little mechanic in the game that I think every single game in history should start implementing, which is unnecessary holding R2 to do things. So there's a little cute thing in the game where you can open up doors normally, but then sometimes the door is heavy, so you have to hold down the R2 button to push the door open. And it's over the top. It's completely unnecessary. I know maybe some people find that immersive. I find that silly as hell, but I love it. Because you can, it's like got heavy rain mechanics where if you like fail, you just kind of like don't open the door. But like to fail, you have to actively not hold down the R2 trigger, which is ridiculous. They could have just had it press X to open the door, but instead to make it feel like the door is really heavy, because they have the PS5, so they have the the resistance on the triggers. So you kind of like really have to push to open up a door. It's great. I think every game in history should implement 30% of their doors or random boring activities they could be doing require you to have an extra step just to get a bit more immersive. Just to show that like maybe do you really want to open up this door? Because you gotta hit R2 as well to open up this door. Could you imagine if you had to open up a chest and you had, every time you tried to open up a chest, you had to mash triangle as hard as you could, but if you failed, you just didn't open the chest? Not that there would be like a failure rate or anything. You just if you didn't mash fast enough, you just don't get to open the chest. You don't get the chest right now. You can try it again and again and again. But just to physically exhaust. Maybe I'm just coming into something about game design, right? So if you have to actively do something to open up chests or break through different objects, technically your game becomes longer. It's kind of like saying, if you want your game to feel if you want your maps to feel bigger, but you're working on limited space, make your character move slower. If your character moves slower, technically the map's twice as big. Character moves at half speed, map's twice as big, takes them twice as long to get across places. It feels bigger, right? So you can kind of make make spaces feel bigger by making things move slower. So you can really stretch out a game time by making mundane tasks take as much time as normal mundane tasks. Like if you have to open up the chest, but you have to literally take each thing out one by one. Or you could have it so you have to mash, you have to do like quick time events so you don't fumble and drop the potion from the chest and get, you call the game Butterfingers, and you just pick up, every time you try and pick up loot, you broke it. Oh no, Butterfingers. That's really great. I kind of like that idea. Maybe that's my secret project. My secret project is now going to be a first-person real-time action game, but your hands are really sweaty all the time. Okay? So, you're walking up, you're going to use your bow and stuff, but, if you don't get your quick time event, when you're, readying your bow, oh no, you dropped your bow. But then you got sweatier hands because you're failing. So, it's a lose more. First time you fail, it gets harder and harder to try and pick up your bow. Then you gotta mash triangle, but you didn't mash triangle fast enough. Oh no. Now you can't. Now you're just fumbling around your bow. You're just throwing it in the air and stuff. Okay, and the goblins are coming. They're coming for you. We got orcs. We got trolls even. Who knows? They're coming at you, but you got Butterfingers, so you can't actually pick up your weapon. So you try and run away, but of course, your shoes were untied. Duh. You think you're going to tie your shoes in the middle of a fight? Maybe. Depends on if you can do a full-on square puzzle where you try and match all of the pictures together in time to be able to tie your shoes appropriately. But if you don't do it in time, the goblins come over, right? And then you got to dodge, of course. But your shoes are untied, your hands are all slippery. So you got to do another sort of, I don't know. What are we going to do for this one? Goblins trying to attack you, trying to dodge. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have to do a full-time... We're going to have to... full-time... I guess it'd probably just be literally quick time events for that. The things that people really like in video games, okay? And when you fail that, right? So, the goblin kills you. But it's not just a game over screen or anything, right? What you have to do is to solve an entire maze. Okay, you get sent down to the maze. Once you escape the maze, kind of Goku style, escape the maze, you come back to life, and you're back into your body with the untied shoes and the sweaty hands and the bow thing. So nothing actually has changed. You just have to do a stupid maze. I kind of like this idea. So if you want to make your game longer without actually adding content, you can do things like that. And I kind of like that. Obviously, Final Fantasy 16 doesn't do that. They have the hold R2 to do menial task, open up a heavy door, kick through some broken wood, which I find charmingly funny, especially with the resistance on the triggers as the PS5 controllers do. That's really fun. But other than that fun thing, the combat in the game is actually, I think it's a great improvement from Final Fantasy Remake. Where Remake I kind of found the attacks were really clunky. The dodge mechanic and the fight mechanic in 16 so far feels super strong, well thought out. The abilities are really cool. Sometimes I get confused with my stupid little Phoenix Blink and my actual dodge, but once I get the hang of that, it's gonna be great. My year of playing Wu Long has really taught me how to dodge well, so I'm doing pretty good in Final Fantasy Final Fantasy 16, just with the dodging and everything. After training with the load of Wu Long, which I've been playing recently again, which is super fun. Wu Long's a great game, 100%. Would recommend playing Wu Long. What else have I been doing this month? The Lord of the Rings set came out. That was actually pretty cool. I want to shout out to Wizards of the Coast for making this Lord of the Rings set not feel... I mean, it's fan servicey, obviously. Because, it's Lord of the Rings. But it is probably the best set they've come out with, as a whole, to draft, to play, flavor-wise, in a very long time. What they should have done, though, is made this set standard legal. I don't understand why they wouldn't, considering half the cards in Standard are better than the cards in this anyways. I'm an online only pleb nowadays. I mean, I have paper Magic, but I haven't like collected paper Magic for a very long time. So my cards are all outdated. Don't have anything from like Modern Masters 1 or anything beyond that. So that kind of killed Magic for me once the cost of everything went up basically triple. So I just have whatever cards I have now, and that's what I play with. But for Magic Arena, I want to play the Lord of the Rings set in constructed format so bad. So all I can basically play is Historic Brawl to play it, because Alchemy has a stupid pirate and a stupid dark mage or whatever the hell they are in the Jund colors that basically make every game revolve around them, because they are so broken in their card advantage that there's no real gameplay around them. Crucis, I think his name is, the stupid pirate that gets you infinite value, and then there's I don't know, I want to say like Jaxel or something silly like that basically just casts spells from the graveyard for free. Both those cards are insane card advantage, insane 3-drops that you don't really get to play against. So you can't really play Alchemy with the cards, because those two cards are just better than every single card in the Lord of the Rings set. Which is why I don't understand why Standard, you can't just play them in Standard, because like, I don't know, Shieldred just seems better than most of the cards in there, and you can just play Shieldred to counteract things like the One Ring, or you just play Shieldred with the One Ring. It just seems like the One Ring would be like a really cool card to have in Standard right now, and it wouldn't warp the format, but it would definitely be fun. So that's kind of a shame, and there's some cool sagas and stuff. Like I want to play Ramp with Bombadil, and just in Standard, not in Alchemy, because I don't want to play against Crucis, really, because it's not a fun card to play against. And then Historic, obviously, there's some good cards for Historic. But, again, Historic has a huge card pool, just kind of like Modern or Legacy. So it's going to be a lot tougher for any of the cards to compete with that. So I think they probably could have just popped it into Standard, and it wouldn't have been too much of a problem. It would have just been pretty cool, honestly. Yeah, especially because they had this planned before they banned stuff like Invoke Despair and Fable the Mirrorbreaker and Reckoner Bankbuster, because I think those 3 cards are better than anything even close to in these sets. Like, Invoke Despair destroys half the set anyways, so it wouldn't have been a problem. Reckoner Bankbuster is more efficient than any of the draw spells in the set. And, Fable the Mirrorbreaker might just be one of the best cards printed in the last, 3 years. Pretty crazy cards, but they decided not to put it in it. But where it does shine is Brawl, obviously. There's so many cool legendary creatures. Legendary creature matters. There's lots of things, in almost every archetype that you can do. There's, Tom Bombadil is, just a new archetype itself that actually fits with sagas. Specifically sagas, not just, an enchantment general. So I think that's really fun. And then there's stuff like the One Ring obviously is good in Brawl, but there's so many cool new sagas, and all the food mechanics get better, and you got the One Ring tempting things to get extra value, but the draft is so much fun. There's so many cool, interesting ways to play it, and I think that is great. That is my thoughts on Lord of the Rings set in Magic the Gathering. Something that a lot of people, they weren't so happy about. Ooh, keep my game and my lore pure. I don't want all these new things coming in. And, I think Lord of the Rings is kind of what most of the fantasy genre and, Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering is, built off of anyways. So it's kind of just a perfect fit. So who really cares that much, right? I think it's all good. You got all these legendary creatures. You can play your Frodos and your Bilbos and your Fro Bills and your Bill Fros, whatever you want to play. Your Golems and your Schmeagles. You play the Golem game stuff. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And you mass the orcs. You have a good time. Lord of the Rings set, a big old win for sure. In that, yeah, that's pretty much. That's what I've been playing mostly. I've just been playing Magic, just been playing a bit of things. I beat I beat the nice game Anno. That's up on the YouTube channel. Maybe, oh yeah, it'll be done by the time this is out. That's good. I beat it. That was kind of cool. Nice little sci-fi adventure game. There's probably some more endings I didn't get to, but I mean, that's for you to find out. You can find out those new endings if you really want to find out those new endings of that stuff. It's, that's pretty much it. Yeah, there's a thunderstorm happening right now. So I don't know how much longer I should be making this video because, it's not really a video. You can see, there's no video. It's just an audio component with me having my little logo with me writing available post-podcast on it. Which is, I know, genius, perfection, beautiful. But it's the way it goes. I got my dog looking at me. She's wondering what I'm doing. Just having a good time, Bean. Don't worry about it. So yeah, you know what? I might cut this one short. This might be a short one. It's going to be the 1st of July. It's going to be Canada Day. And people are going to listen to this. YouTube loves either really long videos or kind of condensed short videos. So maybe this podcast episode is going to hit like 25 minutes, 30 minutes around there. But what I want to ask from you, if you've made it this far in this thing, recommend me things to talk about. Because I'll talk about them, no problem. If my house cleaning list is just, if that's the episode, I will totally do that. That's totally great. I would love to just respond to questions and stuff like that. That would be great. More comments. I will read them all. I could also go through and I could look at all my episodes that have dislikes on them. And I never understand why I get the dislikes, but I like it. I think that's fun to get the dislikes on the videos. I don't know if you can see the dislikes on the videos. I'm sure there's apps and stuff to do that. But speaking of apps, I just found out today, the 26th, June 26th is today, but when you're listening to this, it's July 1st. Woo, fireworks, things like that. Or for all you Americans out there, in 3 days, there's going to be fireworks and stuff like that. Woo, America, yeah, real cool. But I saw that they're developing an AI that'll just write stories, full-on, fiction stories. And I got something to say about this. If you think my constant rambling here is kind of drawn out, boring, and maybe even uninspired, if you got those kind of negative comments to me, go read a book written by an AI, because you literally will die. There's no way anything like that's going to be good. I don't know who the audience who wants to read that garbage is. I don't know why that would even exist. And it blows my mind that that's even something that people are trying to push as yeah, you can get this AI to write you books and then you can publish the books and then all those books will be published. And then you're like, well, okay. So you're going to have all these AI books, right? And no one's going to want to read them because they're going to be actual garbage. We're talking way worse than your bargain bin books that are just actual smut from the grocery store. This is going to be way worse than that. This is it's going to be 1800s fanfic. Fanfic stolen from dead authors, pretty much. Which is wild. But then the future, that's even worse. Okay? So say this does pick up. And everyone just actually wants to read a big pile of trash, right? Well then, the AI, people are just going to say, well, I'm not going to spend, 7 years writing a book. Because, what's the point when it's indistinguishable from this garbage? I'll just use this garbage to stuff, right? But then it's going to come to a time where the AI is just going to run out of source material. I mean, they'll never really run out of source material because there's literally a billion trillion books out in existence. But, that some of these AIs are going to start feeding off of each other. And the AI books are going to be written off of other AI books. And if you've ever seen, the pictures of, the sound bites yelling at each other between two phones that, mimic voices and then it just turns into static and, screaming, that's literally what's going to happen with AI books if people keep... If this becomes a popular method of doing things like that, you're just going to have two AI bots screaming at each other, making books that are just like weird rip-offs of fan fiction from the 1800s. So you're going to have like, you know, fake Edgar Allan Poe trash just put out, or like, I don't know, like Hemingway, if Hemingway had amnesia and or didn't have a way to write, and people just looked at him and he had to write from blinking, even though Hemingway's dead. But I mean, that's the beauty of AI, right? You can bring back the dead people by stealing their artwork and making it into new stuff. That's pretty cool, actually. You know what? Maybe I'm kind of into this. I think if we do hit this beautiful pinnacle of AI writing other AI books, people might realize and appreciate art a little more. Once you hit the point, especially with like AI art, you're going to hit to a point where you're like, wow, everything looks the exact same, and I kind of hate it. It's all just like same thing all the time, and people are going to wonder, it's like, yeah, there's never been an original idea. Why are there no original ideas? And the answer is, well, because you're first complaining about there being no original ideas in stuff like media and film and things, but then you're jumping real high into it and saying like, yeah, but at the same time, I want everything to be AI generated because it's way easier and cooler and efficient. Well, let me tell you something about that. It's the dumbest, most singular-minded thing I can think of, is that you're just turning everything into money and you're not actually having anything to passion. Did I mention I'm recording an album in in a month or so? And it's going to be good. Good in the true philosophical sense, as it won't be evil. And that's what I'm going to say about that. But I just saw that the little storytelling thing. Man, I'm really good at keeping on track. I just saw the little storytelling AI or story writing, book writing AI that'll basically just get it right onto Amazon Books and Kindle, basically right from the typing out a couple details about how you want your book. And I just thought to myself, that is bad. But the problem is that becoming popular won't just be bad, it'll be increasingly bad, and it'll start eating itself. And I long for the day, because I won't read any of these AI books, not a chance. That'd be a waste of my time. But once we get the AI books that are based off of other AI books, that might have some content in just as like to study, to say like this is the product of greed and no artistic value and no artistic mind. And I kind of love that. I kind of like the idea that in the end, people will go so far to destroy all artistic creation that people will just wonder, no, we actually want artistic creation. We actually don't want this garbage. Visual art, same thing. Even I bet you, even just for like basic task programming, you're gonna hit points where everything is just like streamlined, which I guess, it's kind of a language, it kind of does that, but like without the creativity, it's gonna have less innovation if everyone's just going to slap in numbers and say like, hey, AI, make me a clock. And it's going to be like, okay, I'll make you a clock. And then everyone's like, cool. Yeah, I can just make me a clock. Great. But what if we innovate on time? Listen, I know it's crazy, but what if time isn't actually solved and we need to innovate on time? Well, we'll never get to that point if we just keep on asking the AI, because they just go to the past. There's no future thinking with the AI. It doesn't create something new. It just takes old shit and throws it together to make it into, old shit ready for you. Which is, art is innovation in all forms. Film, visual arts, we got musical arts, we have story writing, we have playwriting, we have even performance arts. Obviously the AI is never going to do performance arts because, well, obviously the AI can't perform. If you get a robot to perform AI art, that's I'd be kind of impressed with that, actually. If you can start getting robots to do performance art, sure. Whatever. I think that's a feat in itself. But that's more the mechanical aspects of the robot than the AI designing the performance art. But I guess that would be closer to just like engineering sculpture, which that would be art. I would say that would be art. And that's the closest thing to like AI would be cool. But really what we should be doing with AI is, accessibility tools. Things to make things more accessible for people, but not in the sense that like, hey, writing's more accessible because it'll just do the writing for you. That's not the kind of accessibility we want. Text to speech, better translation. Those are things that I think would be great for AI. Translators are expensive, and getting it more and more affordable would be good. I'm sorry, all those people out there that are actual translators, but your job will probably never go away because the AI will never do as good a job as someone who has knowledge and nuance in certain dialects, certain like slangs that it's just too hard to program. Well, not too hard to program, but like extremely difficult to program a computer to try and pick up and do. Well, that's my little AI rant. Talked about some games, talked about some stuff like that. Happy Canada Day, everyone. Looking at the weather forecast, it's going to be a scorcher, so you better put on your sunscreen, have yourself a good time. This has been me, Callum, from the Available Post-Podcast. Check out Teleportus in like a couple months when we get our new album out, or check them out now. Slap a like on this video. Slap a subscribe on this video. Check out those demos that I was talking about. You should, people got demos out on Steam. Indie developers, maybe one day I'll be one of them. Very unlikely, but you know what? I've been looking into Godot. I've been looking into Unity. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for listening. Catch you in the next one. Leave comments below what you want me to talk about next time. And I will see you later. Bye.